Hello, this is a Citic Dram again. Today is July 25th, year 2022. Day is Monday. All right, let me list my accomplishments for the day. I did make a promise to myself via YouTube and to hold myself accountable to do a minute on my elliptical trainer in the morning and in the evening. I did that. I feel like I could do more. I feel like my breathing's okay. I feel like my recovery is okay. I mean, talking about recovery after just a minute, but I'm a big dude and it takes a lot to get me moving. So, it doesn't take a lot to get me moving, but it takes a lot to recover after I get done moving. So, I feel like I could do a lot more, but my problem is my thighs. They really burn. My back doesn't hurt. My hips don't hurt. It's just my thighs. They really, really burn. So, well, like I said, every journey starts with a step, right? So, every river begins the raindrop or a snowflake. Idiot. But anyway, so I'm going to be working on it. I'm going to be building up on it. So I'm proud of myself because I held myself accountable through my holding myself accountable by putting it on, on the YouTubes. And so, like I said, these are just records for me. And, to anyone else that wants, that feels inspired to make changes in their life, I welcome you. For me, the reasons why I want to make changes in my life, I've been through this before on previous videos, but the reason why I want to do that is because growing so large and having such a bad image of myself, it's rough because like I was saying, I locked myself away. I mean, I hid myself away from the world. I mean, one of the lessons I thought I learned, about 10, 12 years ago was, especially when I was at the gym, almost every day of the week, was that 95% of the world doesn't give a crap about you. 5% are actually, I take that back. 90% of the world doesn't care about you. 5% of the world is truly interested in you. 3% are truly interested and will talk to you and give you a vote of confidence and a pat on the back. The other 2% are just assholes. So that's like worrying. My doc, Wolf used to tell me about my anxiety and my worry. He goes, same thing. He goes, 98% of the stuff you worry about is never going to happen. And if it does, it's not as nearly as, traumatic as it's going to be. So, so that's kind of like my with my social. I don't want to say social anxiety. It is social anxiety. I'm not going to lie. It's I don't like. I do. Let me put it this way. It's like if you have a full house of people and say I'm invited, I always feel like I'm on the outside looking in. I don't feel like I'm an insider. I always feel like I'm not included, and again, that comes from my my childhood through my teen years, through my 20s and whatnot, by not having close friendships and close relationships that happen. I mean, even back when, I talked about a story about when I was in elementary school. The first elementary school I went to, this kid named Ben had a birthday party. I wasn't invited, but I liked the kid so much that I told the story previously, but I had my mom take me to K&K Hardware in Bettendorf to buy a Chicago Cubs hat for him. and I took it to his house, knocked on the door, and asked for him, and I gave him the Cubs hat because I knew he liked it. And once he took it, I took back. The mother never said, "Hey, stop! Come on in and have the thing. Come in and have a slice of cake or whatever." I never, so it was kind of a bummer that I wasn't included. I don't hold a grudge over it, but no, it's just one of those questions: why wasn't I included? I mean, there's a simple reason, because I didn't live in that school district. I didn't live in that neighborhood. I lived in a different neighborhood, which I had a different elementary school, I think. But my grandparents were used as my daycare, so my mom would go to work. She was a single mom, so she would drop me off at my grandparents' house. And my grandparents' house school district was there, so I was basically, going into a different school district. So I didn't know these kids. I wasn't friends with them. I wasn't around the neighborhood with them. So that's one of the reasons why. It's kind of like an outsider there. And plus, the problem with that is, as being an outsider with that group, I was also an outsider with the kids in my area because I went to school in one side of Bettendorf, but I lived in another side of Bettendorf. So I didn't have a solid network. I didn't have a solid friendships while growing up as a child either. But I did have I will say save for two people, save for one. There was a girl named Amanda that I was friends with, and she was probably my best friend at the time. We were in preschool together in Mrs. Riggy's class, and I think we were also in kindergarten and maybe first grade together. But she was kind of like my best friend at the time, and we would always be joined at the hip when I was in that neighborhood. I'd always go to her house, or she would come over to my grandparents' house, and we'd hang out all day. And there was another kid that I liked from afar. His name was Mike Clausen, and he raced go-karts. I remember that. It's funny, the people that I always admired or really liked, I remember a lot of details about them. But Mike Clausen was a cool kid. We used to hang out at the park every once in a while, but we weren't really close friends. I mean, and plus when I moved away from Bettendorf when I was after the first grade, so I didn't have friendships to develop from that. And then the town I moved to, I still have bitter feelings about it. But I went to this different town in Iowa, and I was in the second grade. I don't remember the second grade teacher, but it doesn't matter. But that was kind of thing. I was an outsider coming in, and already had I must have some social development issues already, because I didn't really become friends with anybody in elementary school in the town I moved to. The only friend I had was this guy named Dan, and the only reason he was my friend, it just happened to be because my mom hired his mother to be my my baby or my daycare babysitter after school, and I didn't last long in that area because evidently I annoyed Dan. So I annoyed him. So because, and it happens now too, because when I do find a person I like a lot, I don't respect their boundaries 100%. I basically go all in, and I'm not like begging for their time, but I do it. I do see where I become annoying because I will, I won't say pestering, but I will, I will engage with them and ask them, hey, do you want to do this? Want to do that? Want to do this? Want to do that? Do this? Do this? Do that? And that's that was a theme for a while, and then that kind of like made me. When I found out about that, the people who told me they should never told me that they found me annoying, or I can't remember the exact word, but anyway. So anyway, when that school year was done, I went to another elementary school in that same town, or actually I moved. I moved twice, and so I moved to town, and I went to this school. Miss Hamilton was my teacher. I can't, I'm so bad with this stuff. But I remember, like I said, I remember the people who had influenced me. I remember the people I remember fondly, or I remember have fond feelings of. I remember. I try to remember what, their names, and remember as much as I can about it, because they made an impact on me, and they're nice to me. I liked them, and hopefully they liked me. But so I went to that school. I really didn't have any friends there either, because you're the new kid in school. At least I didn't start in midterm. I started in, I started at the beginning of the year. I did have some tentative friends. This guy named Alan, this guy named Jeff, this guy named Henry, this guy named Willie. Mark. I think that's about it. And but then I started going to CCD class, and I met a couple people there. This girl named Gina, and this guy named Chris. And Chris happened to live in the same neighborhood as me, a few blocks away, like 4 or 5 blocks away. And we became friends. Everyday friends, hanging out at their house, and riding bikes around, playing catch, basketball, baseball, tennis, and whatnot, and baseball. And there was this family called the Munts. We used to play tennis, baseball in their driveway, which was a lot of fun. Those kids were older than us, but it was a lot of fun. So I had great memories of that time. And we hung out all the time, So then that was pretty much my world until, like junior high and stuff. That's when all of the classes mixed. I started band, and I met some people in band. I wouldn't say I was really friends with them at the beginning. There were, they were, just acquaintances, and I really don't remember. I don't remember junior high and high school very much. I remember high school more than I do junior high, but I don't have fond memories of either, to be honest with you, except for the music program I was in, and a few teachers that I had. Then when I was in 8th grade, we had our band in junior high was mixed between 7th and 8th grade, and when I was in 8th grade, they had 7th graders. That's where my main core of friends came from, was the year before me, the year under me. That's when I met Lowell. That's when I met Chris. Actually, I take that back. In the 7th grade, I met a dude named Nace, Andrew, or Anders, Andy. A few people that you end up clicking with. And then in high school, same thing. I didn't really have friends with them, and I was tertiary friends with a lot of not a lot of people. I was tertiary friends with some people, and but the problem is that they had their core friends, and I wasn't really included in, or at least I don't feel like I was included with that, with their groups. I remember there was a while there was this thing called the Lords of Chaos, and I don't know, and they had a bunch of people in it, and they had a bunch of the group was there. I wasn't really involved with it, although I did have a T-shirt that for some god awful sake, if I wasn't a part of it, why did they sell me a T-shirt? Anyway, it's it's pity stuff. But anyway, so this weekend it kind of made me think about. Actually, I kind of think about that stuff all the time. But there was some. I was talking about this one kid that I knew. He's about the same age. He's in the same grade as me, and his name's Andy, and it was kind of weird. We were out at this music store that was in our town for a while, and we were just looking at CDs and tapes. I collected tapes. He had CDs, and there's a CD he picked up, and he sort of guilted me into buying it for him. It's like, oh man, it's my birthday. You get this for my gift? And I was like, sure. But I bought it, and when I'm talking about this now, I'm talking it from the emotion that I was at the time, and I was like, sure. And I was like, so I bought it for him, and I believe he did say thank you, but I'm sure he did. He's not that much of a thoughtless person. But anyway, so that was kind of the thing. It's kind of like I remember when my birthday came around, I was like, well, I didn't get no birthday gift, so what the hell? So I don't know, those kind of things. Has kind of always felt like the outsider, the outside looking in. So I tended to not get involved, and so that's kind of like where I'm at now. It's like when, for example, we had when I first bought this house, we became friends with neighbors across the street, and they're very friendly people. I really look up to them. They're the sweetest people in the world and coolest people in the world, but I feel like such a child near them. Although we're about the same age, they're probably 10 years older than me. Yeah. I'm 49, so they're probably mid-50s. So, and it's like they're so much more accomplished than I am. There's so much, it's like they're like adults. I feel like a child. They're so, the one gentleman, he's so accomplished, in his career and everything, and he, has hobbies and everything. They have kids. They have, raised 3 kids. And the wife, she's the sweetest person you'll ever meet in your life. And, professional, went to school, but it just feels like, an adult-child relationship with that. And I'd like to break through that. And I think that's where some of the confidence or some of the realization that I'm going through right now will help me focus on those aspects, and I start questioning them and examining them and start breaking through and start feeling like I'm a worthy person to know, and to be be a friend, and to be that person. Like, say if someone, say if I have a birthday, this is kind of sounds like sour grapes, but if I have a birthday, it's like, hey, it's July 16th. Let's get together and let's go take them out for dinner or something. Granted, sometimes the person has to make the first step, and then reciprocation happens. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not the one putting myself out there either. So that's kind of like I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying. Is that I want to be able to have that that relationship with a friend to where I know about them, and I want to celebrate the events in their life, and they also want to celebrate the events in my life. And I don't know exactly why that happens, where that barrier is for me. I don't know where that's at, and I don't know. And this is the thing that I'll have to come up with and talk to my therapist about. I should actually start making a laundry list of stuff, because this has actually been helping me become a little bit more introspective and to shine lights, on myself, especially when I start talking, because I don't know where I'm going with this when I start talking, and stuff just tends to give up, and I always pause because I don't know if I should say it, and I'm trying to run it through my head and formulate it in a better light for myself, because I do rewatch all my videos when I put them online. So I want to, just so I can remember what I say. So at least I have a little record there. Anyway, one thing. So I'm done about that stuff right now. But one thing I do want to say is that today, since it's been today is my another thing a little celebrate is completed my first day of my second week of intermediate fasting, and today I decided on the whim to go 18-6. So instead of starting eating or having my first meal at 1 p.m., I had my first meal at 3 p.m. And I had the most amazing experience today, and I did not even realize it was happening until I stopped and I said, whoa, wait a minute. I was literally laser focused on my job, not making mistakes. The little things that I forget to do, like I have transactions I make, and they're pretty complex. And sometimes during the transaction, I forget maybe one step, and I have to stop and go back. But today, every transaction I made every single point of data correct without making an error. Laser focused, clear-headed. I wasn't stressed. I was just doing my job as no stress, no nothing. Just doing my job, processing. Just being a savage, doing, plowing through work. It was just unbelievable. And then I texted a buddy of mine, and I told him about that. And what I said to him was, let me see. So exactly what I told him. I said, bro, with this keto and intermittent fasting, I don't know what the fuck happened. Just had my most productive day at work in years. Didn't even feel stress or anything. Just busted ass, and I was laser focused. Holy shit. Don't know if it was a one-off or if this is something I can expect to happen on the reg. If I keep going. And he goes, and then his reply, he's been through this too. He does the keto and he does the IF. I don't know if he still does. I know he used to, but this was his reply. He goes, his reply was, that's honestly a sign of deep ketosis. And he goes, when I was fully into ketosis, my energy levels would be sustained throughout the entire day and never dip once. That and the ability to focus is what I missed most about the diet. So evidently he's not on it, but he was, and I tell you what, he was never a big dude. He was just, he was, like maybe 180. I don't know. I'm bad at that. But now this guy is shredded. He's carved out of wood. He won't say so, but I think he looks pretty damn good in his selfies he puts up from the gym. So anyway, that's all I got for today. This was a longer video as well. So tomorrow, same deal as before. I started my second day of the fast for my second week, and I'm going to try to do the 18-6. I can't promise myself that I'll do it, so it's in pencil. I'll do my best. And tomorrow will also be the second day of the 1 minute in the morning and 1 minute in the evening. And every little step I take to become a better person, to make a better form of myself, and to help me break out of this shell I'm in, and become an unstoppable force. This sounds really weird too, but I feel like it. I have so much potential, and I see so much potential in myself and in what can be accomplished. It's just that I need to take it one step at a time, and lean on the professionals that I've hired to help me go through it, and also tighten the relationships that I have with family, friends, and possibly new friends and new people to help me get through it. No man's an island, and that's so true. I can, if I want to keep being this 547 pounds. I know I'm less than that now. Person, just going to work and going to sleep and waking up an hour before work and not taking care of myself, and then just go to work and do that, and then on weekends just sleep, I will stay where I'm at. But I don't want that anymore. I want to progress with my health and my social life and whatnot. So that's it. I'm done. I will chat with you all tomorrow, and I hope you all have a great night. Acidic Dram out. Dramatic.